Hey guys, welcome to That Game Show, the show that talks about all the stuff in the nerd world and all the stuff in between. I am your host, Chase Bunker. Joining me today, one name to rule them all, it's Murph Murphy.
How's it going, guys?
And he's now player 3 this week, because somebody's gone, it's Daniel Clegg.
Hello, and it threw you off that he was gone, too.
It
you
did.
almost introduced Murph as the half-Asian sensation.
Not necessarily, because I'm just like, oh, Jet's not here, so how am I going to, like, how do I do this intro thing?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys very much if you're watching us on YouTube, listening to us via podcast, or if you're watching us live right now on Twitter with Murph on the comments. I might be on it as well if my phone actually, is right. So you can chat along with us during the show. You can also tweet me at Chase Bunker, or you can tweet the show at _game_show. We got lots to talk about, including the Warcraft trailer that only had 15 seconds of awesome footage, so we're going to overreact on that. Warren Spector said some comments that we're a little bit confused on. Quantic Dream has a new game, but first, I have two things. One of them, this happened to me like just before the show, and it was about 5:30. I've been on a game binge where I've been like beating game after game after game, which has been nice because I'm actually like chipping away at my Steam library of like 100.
Your Steam library? Yep.
Yes. And so like I remember how we said last week I beat. Or 2 weeks ago, I beat Tales from the Borderlands and pre-sequel. Last night, nice. I just beat Killer is Dead, and we'll talk about that later as well if we have time. But today, I tried to play Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands because I was a huge fan of. Is it not that good? I realized
I'm sorry.
How old is that game? How old is that one?
It's 2011.
Oh, okay, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
Is that the one where you can't die?
I mean, technically, all three of them you can't that was the I don't even know what to call that one because I know what you're talking about, and that one was good up until the end, to which then it was just god awful. But this was the Forgotten Sands. It takes place between 1 and 2, and so I had it on Steam for a very long time, and so what Ubisoft decided was, since it's a brilliant idea to have a game launcher within a game launcher. So now I had to boot up Prince of Persia, which for some reason, every game on Steam, I have to install DirectX. Like, you kind of would have assumed...
Right, of course, yep, every time.
I don't know why. It's like, you should naturally assume, oh wait, he has DirectX.
Well... I could give you the boring explanation, but in the long and short of it, it's Microsoft's fault.
Okay. And so I installed DirectX, and that took me about 8 minutes in that for some reason. And then, we have to now install Uplay. It's like, all right, crap.
Oh.
So I had to install Uplay for the first time, and then it's like, okay, log in. Log in. Uplay's not responding. Crap, alright, maybe it's just whatever, I'll do it again. Uplay's not responding, and I did this for about another, 5 minutes. I went on Google, and it said, just run this as an administrator. Okay, if that doesn't work, run that as administrator. And that didn't work either. So, at about 15 minutes in, I had to download Uplay again, but, on its own separate entity, and then have it sync with my Steam account, which, by the way, when I apparently made a Uplay account years ago.
Years ago for some game that was coming out, probably Ghost Recon or something.
Something like that. I don't even know what the game was, but I had it made. And it had, a gamer tag that I've only used, once, because Spike was taken, Dance Commander was taken, Hellion was taken, and so it's like, I'll choose this one. It was like Chaos Sight or something. It's like, that is the stupidest name I could have ever come up with. And so
that sounds like something I would have used in high school.
Yeah. And so I now had to spend an extra 5 minutes trying to think of another name to get rid of that. And so it's about
all AIM usernames and gamer tags.
Yes, I don't use numbers because I hate using numbers. Cool. And so I get a name, and then I finally boot up Prince of Persia. It logs in finally. Then it says, cannot load profile. Your file may be damaged. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, and so then that happens, then my mouse and my controller won't register anything. And so it's like, oh my gosh, can I not play this? And by that time I got it started, I probably got in maybe 15 minutes of games. Like, I need to just start prepping for this. And it was the biggest frustration.
Welcome to our digital future.
I hate it. Like,
according to
what?
According to the new stuff from the Library of Congress, the recent ruling, when Uplay finally goes off into the great nether because it's a terrible service and they stop supporting it, you can now legally crack your game so that you can play it.
Nice.
But only after Uplay goes away.
Only after Uplay what about Steam?
I don't understand. The ruling wasn't Uplay specific, right? So what was their general statement on the subject?
So the general statement, this is like a half win for like consumers, I think it's been characterized as. So if you own a single player game and there's some kind of like authentication service, like what Games for Windows Live used to be, before they took it down,
right?
You can can crack that game and play it because you bought it, and as long as it's just like an authentication service that went down, you can legally crack it because you own that game so far.
Well, that
now
makes
they
sense.
didn't go.
That's kind of like when players would come up with a multiplayer server system after the publisher specific server had gone down for a game. Like, for example, UT 2004 or something, when they were no longer supporting servers, players made their own, and then there was some kerfuffle with the developer not wanting to do that. I don't think it was that game specifically. But just
hold on. Actually, so that specific example would be still illegal because it only applies to single player content that's on the disk. If you have to like set up a server somewhere and like supply data to to the client, so like the people who are setting up like World of Warcraft vanilla servers, that would be illegal.
Right.
Still.
Okay.
Because there's been additional content delivered digitally in the form of expansions or new areas or whatever that didn't come on the disk.
No, just right, or just like like a Spore. Spore is a good example because there's like digital single player content that comes in from the server, even though it's not a multiplayer game. Like when the Spore servers go down, which who knows, they might have already. Like you can't crack Spore legally.
So what's to stop a publisher from delivering 80% of a single player game, requiring you to have on the disc, right? You've got 80% of a game unplayable, and then requiring you to have an internet connection, like most games do nowadays, delivering that final piece of content you need to make the game playable. All of a sudden, this law isn't applicable.
Yep. Yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? Welcome to our dark dystopian digital future.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But like the one thing that kind of just baffles me, it's like I just want to go back to like the Uplay thing. It's like why do you proceed to put a game launcher in a game launcher? Like that just does not make sense to me. Just because the fact that like Steam already takes up a good chunk of your computer, and then you add another launcher on top of that. It's like, I know that like Warframe does it, and it's not bad because it goes away as soon as you start it, and same with like Warframe, but I don't think Uplay goes away, and it's like, why are you really bogging down my computer?
Well, in the case of Uplay, it's because they eventually want you to stop using Steam altogether. They want you in their ecosystem and not the Steam ecosystem, right? I don't know about games like Warframe or League of Legends isn't within Steam, right? But they have a launcher. A lot of games have launchers that they use to self-update.
Yeah, like games. I mean, like
so maybe it was
launcher,
just part of their right. Like Battle.net is kind of like a mini Steam. It's an application that handles a bunch of their games. So it's kind of like Uplay or Origin, right? It's for the Blizzard ecosystem.
I mean, we can all agree that Battle.net is much better than Uplay and Origin.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Like, it's probably at least second to Steam.
Purpose.
But I mean, so this is just the fracturing of our digital content delivery service. Like like now, did you know that CBS has a streaming service? And also, if you want the new Star Trek in 2017, you're going to have to subscribe to it.
Wow.
just about all of the major television networks have a streaming option, and a lot of them do day after episodes. Like I'm watching The Flash on CW exclusively on their internet stream. I don't have cable, and I get it the next day. So a lot of them are doing that, but it's interesting that they're going to require a subscription. That's going to be we're getting towards where all of the networks are going to go the same direction HBO did with their service, where you're going to pay $10 or $15 a month to a la carte what kind of content you want.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to have a Netflix and a Hulu and one or two major channels.
Right. So, like, here's the thing. Like, people are going to be like, oh, man, that's terrible. $6 for a Star Trek a month? And then here I'm thinking 4 episodes of Star Trek. They do it weekly. So it's what, like less than $2 an episode? Okay,
Did
that's
they
fair,
say $6
right?
a month?
It's currently like $7.90 or $6.99. Like that's what the current price is.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic pricing. No problem.
All right. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, like so, yeah, sure. Like this is my Star Trek streaming service, I guess. If it's good, right? And I can always opt out.
All right. Speaking of sci-fi, I want to thank my friend Jared on this. He gave me the other day. He got me this spork, but it's not just any spork. It's a Sonic spork, and I realized I'm probably never ever going to use this, ever. But I just like having it, and I just wanted to show that off.
That's
okay.
I just wanted to derail that whole conversation because it's like I'm pretty sure we're just gonna repeat ourselves, but I got a Sonic Spork, so everybody else can suck it. It's a Loot Crate exclusive. All right. Speaking of video services and stuff, as I gently put my Spork back into its box, never to be opened again. The 15...
keep that value.
Oh yeah, I gotta keep that value. Shadow Mute just has a good point. Why not just get Netflix and that's it?
Well, because then you don't get Star Trek.
I guess this
right.
is true, but no,
it's
you
all
just
about
get
like these
every
different
other
services offer.
You just get every other movie out there that's not Star Trek.
Right. Yeah, but I need so right now. Let me just because we're going down this road. This is what my monthly subscriptions are. I've got let's see. So I've got Netflix. I got Hulu. I've got Crunchyroll because I'm a fucking nerd.
You do work now.
I'm not proud about that one. Yeah. I'm Patreon to 2 podcasts, the Duck Feed Network and the One Shot Network. What else do we do? Oh, Amazon Prime. I'm considering getting on GameFly, and if Star Trek's good enough, I might be signing up for CBS. So I also don't do cable. So I might be. I mean, but if I was doing cable,
all of that, which is pretty much the equivalent to a cable bill.
No, it's less than a cable bill. That's the thing, and I get more content that I want.
I guess
it's that last word. It's what he wants. He's not paying exorbitant cable fees for a bunch of stuff that he doesn't even consume. He's picking the channels, the services that have content he wants to watch. And you can't just say, why don't you just get Netflix as a catch-all, because they don't offer everything. I want to play Halo. Well, the only option I have is to go buy an Xbox, right? That's it.
I forgot I have PlayStation Plus also.
I mean, that's reasonable.
I'm also considering hopping on the Humble Bundle, which is going to go to a monthly model as well, where they give you a random game every month for $12.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Moving on to the Warcraft trailer, which only gave us 15 seconds of footage, but by God, it was a good enough 15 seconds to tide us over until Friday, where the whole trailer will be announced. Have you guys watched it yet?
I have watched it. Have you seen?
Cool.
I think it looks cool. I think it looks the art looks better than the kind of the raggedy like 240p cell phone footage that someone snuck out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looked so much better.
But I'm excited for this. Like, one thing you can say about what is it? Blizzard is that they know how to make a cutscene.
Oh yeah. It's like
Absolutely.
I look at all the StarCraft
They've known
cutscenes.
how to make cutscenes forever.
Yeah, like I look at that StarCraft cutscenes, like, and I'm not gonna play this game, but my gosh, it's just so cool. Because
It's true. It's true. And I'm definitely seeing the CG in these trailers, but you know you're going to be getting that going into the Warcraft universe, right? It's all high fantasy, and the press has all been about the director talking about the new technologies they're using. The actors saying they're really impressed with the on-the-fly CGI that they had to work with as they made this movie, and I'm definitely seeing the CGI looks really solid in the 15 seconds we saw it. I'm sure that's the best 15 seconds they could produce, right?
Yeah.
But it looks really good, and it looks highly stylized. It looks like Warcraft.
Like I look
Right,
at
it looks like Warcraft, though. Go ahead.
I scrolled through Facebook and like someone posted it and like you know the video like immediately starts. I just saw it and it's like, why are people using Lord of the Rings footage? It's like, oh, okay, this is actually the Warcraft teaser. Okay, that's cool.
See, I didn't think it was that. I thought Avatar probably looked a little better if on the human parts. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm excited. I'm not. I think this will be a good movie.
Yeah. Again, I mean, we'll find it on. We'll see the full trailer Friday, and then we'll have a much bigger overreaction of the trailer itself. Did we know if it's actually going to be like how far the storyline is going to go for the movie? Like,
That's
do we even
the big
know?
thing. I don't think anyone's going to dislike the visuals of this movie.
Well,
Everyone is going to be really interested in how they take the story because it's supposed to be from the two different sides' perspectives. So you get, not just good versus evil. You get a conflict between two understandable sides. But it's all about the First War when the orcs first come through in the first place. Okay. So this is Warcraft 1 era. So we're going to be seeing a bunch of characters who don't exist in the world of Warcraft and haven't existed since, almost 20 years ago.
So we won't be getting like an Arthas or a Lich King or an Illidan. Will we get an Onyxia? Like, do you think?
No.
I seriously doubt it. You're going to be getting Anduin Lothar, who is sort of the big human champion. You're going to get Thrall's father and mother, I suppose, because we saw that in a leaked teaser. You're going to get Orgrim Doomhammer, who gave Thrall the Doomhammer that he uses. So it's a bunch of historical characters that you are here referenced, and that you could meet a couple of them in the most recent World of Warcraft expansion, because that's all about time travel. Yeah.
I think Medivh, the wizard guy, is going to feature. Yeah, I mean, because is he dead in current lore? I forget.
He's the one who opened up the portal to bring the orcs into the human world, and in the original game, he is killed off, but returns mysteriously.
He's a crazy
in a
wizard.
Game. Right, he is a crazy wizard.
Yeah, he's a crazy wizard. They come back.
I think this is going to be the big highlight of BlizzCon's opening ceremony on Friday, because they really got to push the. It's coming up this Friday. Yeah, they really got to push the Warcraft. I think because, as they've stated in their most recent earnings call, all their other games are doing great. World of Warcraft is understandably, petering off a little bit because there's been no new content for half a year now.
Yeah.
So there's been no real news, no real growth there. So they need to reinvigorate the audience, which I think is what we're really going to see this coming Friday and Saturday.
Speaking of World of Warcraft, as my phone just falls to the ground, Blizzard also announced that they won't be showing off their subscription numbers anymore. So do you think that this is kind of like the times of, okay, the game is kind of dying off, or what are your thoughts behind this?
I don't know. Like, sure, it's probably there's going to be less people playing a traditional MMO because, quite frankly, the genre has been played out. MOBAs are eating their lunch. I mean, MOBAs are eating their lunch so much so that Blizzard launched a MOBA.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, I think everything you said is absolutely true. Also, they don't want to be defined as the World of Warcraft company anymore. They have 6 games that they make now, and that may be the biggest one and the IP they're most recognized with. but they've got a bunch of other ones, and they want people to shine the light on those other
Right.
games because they're all
You don't want a
growing.
bunch of You don't want a bunch of stories about how Warcraft is dying when you're trying to promote Overwatch and, Heroes of the Void and
Storm.
Heroes of the
Different.
Storm and
You're welcome, commenters. I already
Hearthstone and
did it for
StarCraft
you.
and Diablo.
Yeah, they've got, they're moving, like most things, they're moving into the service-based model. So you don't buy, StarCraft 3, you just buy StarCraft the service, and every so many months you get a new content pack.
Yeah. And also, like, they're still working on stuff with Diablo as well, like with
Right.
like they're making new seasons.
Diablo
and
the
stuff.
service.
Yeah. But
Yeah, like that's just
fun.
the model they're moving
At least
towards.
for me, at least. All right. So with
Which
that,
makes absolute sense. You get
Yeah.
less negative. Less negative. What was the word I'm looking for? Published content about you. Less negative press. That's the word.
Yeah.
If you don't
Right.
focus on the 10-year-old game that maybe isn't the most relevant product they make anymore.
Yeah. All right.
Right, but I mean, still, it's eaten everybody's lunch in the MMO market. Like nobody even comes close. No one's even an order of magnitude.
Yeah.
Oh, close to World of Warcraft, you're saying? Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like next to maybe EverQuest, we can easily say that like World of Warcraft is the greatest MMO. Second to maybe EverQuest.
I mean, you mean the one that most people have played? Yes, sure.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know if that makes popular does not mean the greatest.
This is
I'll
also
just
true.
say that.
Right, well, that's all subjective, sure.
Yeah, I mean, we can get subjective on that point. But we'll definitely talk about BlizzCon next week with the new trailer. Here's the Storm Esports coming up, and I think they're still doing the Hearthstone finals over there as well. So, other than that, it is game time. Time to play Anime or Fanime. Murph, tell us about this game.
Oh, God. All right, so I think I did this last time. I was kind of drunk. This time I'm completely sober.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to give you...
All right.
I've got 6 animes or possibly not animes here. And I'm going to... I'm going to describe basically an anime. And I need you to tell me if it's real or if it's fake.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you guys up to the challenge?
I'm up for it.
We are up to this.
I think we are.
Okay, so the first anime here that may or may not be real. I'm going to describe it as the personification of an app. As 3 busty young girls help people optimize their lives.
Interesting. Okay. Now, you've got me with the busty young girls. That sounds like an anime already.
Yeah, it does. I'm gonna go with anime.
You think it's an anime?
think
Yeah,
it's
because
an
the girls who are helpful is kind of an anime trope. So, I agree. I think it's also an anime.
It's gonna be called.
You guys.
It's gonna be called Scarlet Point One. That's what. It's gonna be
Okay, that's unfortunately you've actually named an anime there, Chase.
What?
But in this anime,
No way! Is that really an anime?
yes.
What?
However, this one is called Hackadol the Animation.
So we were right that it's
Okay,
an
so it
anime,
is.
but I'm
That
also
is an
right
anime.
in that I named another anime.
Correct.
Double points for me.
So-
Next
This means you
question.
were super legit.
So this anime is about a young medical student who is described as a maverick doctor, much like House, who eventually gets kicked out of medical school but continues to practice without a license.
I say Fanime because I think you just like partially just talked about Trauma Center, but then just kind of like spurred off in the end. So I'm gonna say no. But
Wasn't that the Wii game?
Wii and 3DS or DS? I
Interesting.
think it started off as
I'm
DS.
gonna agree that this is a fanime simply because you made the house reference, which I don't think would be in the actual description of an anime.
But if this was an anime,
No, so
it would be called Super Medical Salvation.
It's a really good title. Unfortunately, the actual title of this actual anime is Young Black Jack.
Young Black Jack.
See, now he's trying to throw us off by doing weird things.
Not
Chase.
to be confused
He did
with
that on
Young
purpose.
Jack Black. And the
No, not
early
young,
days of
not,
Tenacious D.
So this next anime is about a wacky teacher, quote unquote, wacky teacher, and his straight-laced class who are perpetually annoyed by the teacher taking them out on nature walks instead of, spending time in the classroom.
This sounds like the Magic School Bus. This sounds exactly like the Magic School Bus.
It does.
Only
Or what
nature
was it?
walks
There was
instead
one
of
anime-
Yellow School Bus.
I was with my friend Kelly, and she was watching this one anime. Oh my gosh, I forget what it was.
What do you think, guys?
There was a bus crash on like some nature.
I think this is an anime. I think this is a Japanese ripoff of an American cartoon,
I'm gonna say
which is probably
it's-
based on another Japanese anime.
I'm gonna say it's not an anime, but if it was, it would be called Nature Stop Tokyo.
So Nature Stop Tokyo, however, is not in production, unfortunately. So I've
So that was
I fooled you, Dan,
not
there.
All right, yes.
Made this up.
Yeah. But Chase. So 5 girls who are aiming to become
Anime
idols.
already. It's already an anime.
Yes.
5 girls.
It's Sailor Moon.
So we watch them go through their various exercise routines, doing like push-ups, jumping jacks, sit-ups.
Are we counting hentai as anime? Because
This
if
is
so,
nope. This is a
straight
if
up
this is a
anime.
real anime. If this is a real anime, if it is a real anime, there is no nudity.
I'm going to say
there's
that it
no
is an
nudity,
anime,
but we're watching
and
physical
it is
exercise.
called Supreme Workout. Supreme Workout Spectacular.
So we're locked in.
No, I
I'm
don't
locked in on
think
anime.
this is
I'm
real.
locked in on anime.
I don't think this is an anime.
Chase is
I think
once again
this sounds...
correct.
Bam!
Oh, jeez.
Correct.
I know my fake anime.
It is called Anime Day Training. EX.
Oh, EX.
It's
of course.
EX. That's an important part. Okay, that was 3. So we're halfway through, guys. No, that was 4.
That was 4.
So we're more than halfway through. We're 2/3 through. So this next anime is about a young girl
Anime.
who's a ghost.
Anime.
Yeah, right. And she has to fight a young boy who is a vampire.
Anime.
However, hold on, I'm not done yet. However, the way they fight is, instead of in the traditional underworld style, is they kind of summon giant robots, and so when they're ghost and vampire, you can't see them because whatever. But then the real world knows them as actual mecha pilots.
I don't think it's an anime.
This sounds incredibly complicated.
For a second, it's like this is like Hellsing, but with Heaven Song, or something like that. Okay, it's not an anime, but if it was, it would be called Rock'em Sock'em Spirits.
Ah, that's a good.
Yes.
Rock'em Sock'em Spirits should go into production. Okay.
Clegg, what do you
So-
think? Wait, Clegg, what's your answer?
I'm going to agree with Chase just because he's on a roll tonight.
Yeah, Chase is correct again.
Wow.
So
Chase.
our last one, I'm going to describe the show as. Do you guys want to know what Bones is?
Yes.
So imagine if
that's the one-
Bones.
Yep. Okay.
Let's take Bones, but she's in high school, and she has mystical powers so that the bones talk to her.
This almost sounds like iZombie, but with bones.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to say. I'm going to say this.
I think
Like,
no.
I'm
personally.
going to say no, but like I'm also picturing like the skeletons like popping out and just like talking in a way. But I don't think I can't picture like granted, this is anime, so I really can't say. I can't picture Bones talking. I'm gonna say this is a fanime, but if it was an anime, it would be called Bone Chatter.
Ooh. Bone Chatter. You sticking with Chase there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, you guys are wrong. This one is Beautiful
Jeez.
Bones.
Oh, I was close.
Beautiful Bones. That's a good one.
Beautiful Bone, yeah.
Are these all from
So, yeah.
this newest season of anime?
This is just the newest season.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Murph.
Stuff I didn't say is something called Comet Lucifer, or something with mechs. Something where a spirit of a hot spring like kind of just torments a boy.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That sounds right.
Typical anime. Oh, and there's a new
hold on.
Gundam.
Typical tickle anime?
No, just typical anime.
Oh,
not
I think you said
tickle.
a tickle anime. It's like, what? This exists? By the way, I have a friend on Facebook, and I don't know if like he knows that it gets broadcasted. It's like you never like you like a page on Facebook, like it'll pop up in your feed where it's like, oh, Chase likes this comedian. He likes like all this like hentai stuff, and so like
that's
Great.
and so for like about like I'll scroll and it's like, all right, baby post, political post, teacher getting beat up, baby post. Oh, and then he has like these like next 5 posts are all the like hentai pages that he likes, and it's almost as like, do you like even like are you even aware that this is happening? Like, I don't
Probably
know.
not.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind being friends with you. I just don't want to know what you do that to. There's just boundaries. Like, even with me, there's boundaries. But, anyway.
Well, the thing is, I check Facebook at work. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Not on my work computer, but still.
Yes. One last...
On my phone.
Yeah. We got a couple more things to talk about real quick. The new Quantic Dream trailer has been unveiled for the newest game, and it'll be called Detroit. It'll be based off the character Kara when they're using their tech demo a few years ago. Murph, have you seen it? The Detroit
Yeah,
trailer?
and I think you guys really like Heavy Rain, right?
I love Heavy Rain. Clegg hasn't played it.
See, I don't.
I
do not have David Cage's. I don't have like that, like currency with David Cage, and I don't. He doesn't make a game that I'm interested in, like mechanically. And I know we talked about this Warren. Are we going to go into this Warren Spector
it's going to lead
article?
right into Warren Spector. So like
Right. So.
Yeah.
So I guess do you want to introduce that Warren Spector article, because
I'm
this
going to go pull it up right now. The Warren Spector recently came out at a PAX Australia over the weekend, and he was very outspoken about games like Uncharted, Heavy Rain, and Telltale's The Walking Dead. As reported by Power Up Gaming, mind you, I'm also reading this on GameSpot, so trying to give credit to whatever. Spector says, video games have a unique capability for, quote, shared authorship between the game and the player. But these games, which Spector praised for what they are, don't take that idea far enough. Games shouldn't aspire to be movies. If all you want to do is show off how clever you are, get out of my medium. Go make a movie or something, because that's what you should be doing. He also is labeled Naughty Dog's Uncharted as, quote, low expression on his scale of low, medium, and high. Which some of his, quote, high games are Dishonored, Sims, Fallout, and, of course, Deus Ex. If you don't know who Warren Spector is, he made Deus Ex.
right.
So, yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't necessarily disagree with him about the David Cage game, the Quantic Dream games. Like, there's some really great moments in them, but I think maybe the Quantic Dreams games might do better as movies. That said, I don't think that Uncharted is necessarily better off as a movie. There's this like, so I'm really of mixed feelings here.
Yeah, me too. Because it's like, because I know you love Gone Home.
I disagree with this guy heavily.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right. Oh yeah. Like,
you go with your mixed feelings, and we'll go around. Then we'll go to Clegg next. So start off with you, Murph.
So I'm okay with Warren Spector criticizing the Quantic Dream games is just being kind of non-interactive, kind of not like interactive movies, and that's you're not really taking advantage of what the medium has to offer. Like I know David Cage is like notorious for like making statements as to like the future in gaming is just more and better motion capture. If we could perfectly capture a human face, like that'll make the most perfect game. And I feel like that's so we've got two sides of a spectrum here. We've got Warren Spector on one, and we've got David Cage on the other. And I don't think, like, and as much as I hate this, the truth is somewhere in the middle. I really do think so. For example, I played yesterday. Have you guys heard of Sybil?
Sybil?
Cibele?
Yes.
No, I do not.
So I
was
played that.
just reading an article about this yesterday.
So I played that yesterday, and it is a very heavy narrative game. It's semi-autobiographical, and it wouldn't work in a movie. There's some. It's about meeting people in an MMO and the relationships you forms and how. And I hate to simplify it down to this much, but guild drama. But there's the mechanic of where you kind of play the MMO, and it's really great because I played a lot of MMOs in the aughts, and as eventually you get to this point in an MMO where you're just okay, I've done this, click, and you're not really playing the game. It's something you're doing while you're talking to these other people, and this game captured that perfectly.
All right, Clegg, what are your thoughts?
So,
on this?
yeah.
Oh,
No, go ahead. Just relating that to Warren Spector, this game would be low on his scale, but I think this game is doing stuff that can only be done in games and hasn't been done a lot or in games before either.
Clegg.
Interesting. So when this guy starts off his rant with "get out of my medium," he already comes off as incredibly self-righteous and pretentious, and I already don't like him. Okay, so let's put that out there. He sounds like an ass. But what he's arguing for, as far as I understand, is that he wants more, not exactly communication, but he wants a dialogue of sorts between the writers or the developers of the game and the players, where you're influencing the story more directly, right? He wants more player engagement in directing what's happening within the game.
Well, he wants more system engagement in the sense that, like in Skyrim, there's like the main storyline, but there's also the story about how you went into a cave and you fought a bear.
Okay, right. So he wants players to be able to create their own stories within the game. Sure, that's really good, and there's a place for that sort of gameplay, absolutely. However, I don't have a problem with linear established storyline that's been written by someone, like a movie or a book, that's then put into video game form. I think there's a place for that. Here's a similar argument that we can all agree on. There is a place for professional gaming and the high tier, high skill level that sort of gameplay requires. There's also casual and mobile games. And we hear people all the time say, get out of my elitist gameplay chat or whatever. They don't want to deal with the casuals. And we don't like those people because they have a very, casual gamers suck or whatever, right? There's a place for each of those types of players. There's a place for each of those types of gameplay. One shouldn't be allowed to just downright knock the other because that's not their type of game. There's a place for each of them, and you shouldn't knock the other just because you don't agree with it. This guy sounds like an auteur, right? He's very opinionated and very self-righteous because he's making this kind of game, which he sees to be a higher art form.
Yeah, it's...
Right. And,
you first.
I mean, I will agree with him in this one thing where he says that storytelling in games is kind of stagnated, and I would say that it has at the AAA level. Like, nobody's telling really any new story other than, I'm so angry. Man, well, I do have this gun.
I think it's... Well, did you just, like, give out the story for hatred?
I think I just gave out the story for, like, Destiny, Call of Duty, Probably even Fallout for a bit.
I mean,
I'm
like,
just saying.
let's be honest. Like, that's probably the best story that came out like in AAA as of recent. Like, I don't know, it could be like anything from the Arkham series to Borderlands to BioShock
See, well,
Infinite.
okay, well, if you're talking about Tales from the Borderlands, I don't think there's. It's not. Oh, I'm angry. I have a gun. But for Borderlands, isn't the story literally? I'm angry and I have this gun and all these bullets.
That might be one of the lines, yes, but the
I
thing, the thing that kind of got me is because like I know that there's always been a debate as to whether or not games like Dear Esther, Gone Home, like whether or not those actually constitute as games. Like those are the two games that have been like constantly been in that
Right.
debate. I feel like with games with like that Telltale does, I think they're unique because it's one of those like it's a choose your own adventure style and no gameplay style is going to be the same between two people for the most part. And with David Cage games, like mind you, I love like Heavy Rain's one of my favorite games. I love Indigo Prophecy. Beyond Two Souls was okay. I haven't tried Omicron yet. I feel like with those, there's different like it's interactive in a way. It's interactive almost in the same way of like Rocky Horror, and it's somewhat where like you get to like somehow participate and you like with Heavy Rain. There's different outcomes depending on like what happens, who dies halfway through, etc. But like when he mentioned Uncharted, it's like. Did he forget like all the shooting segments in Uncharted? Did he get like some of the puzzle features? Like, and also when he's like, "Oh, that's low. What's medium? Like, is Tetris on like the medium platform for him? Is Forza on his medium?" It's like I had no beef with Warren Spector, but I feel like now, like looking at it from like a gamer's perspective, it does come off as really pretentious. And I think
Extremely.
I think it would be the same if it was Will Wright, if he said the same thing, or if it's like anybody else. Like,
Right, and I just wish that he was writing checks that his mouth could cash. Like DSX was a good game, right? Like,
Yeah.
or the newest one at least.
Human
Like it was good.
Revolution's good.
Um,
I don't
right.
remember
Well, I
how
mean,
Visible War I think was okay, but like, that's not besides the point.
Yeah, right. And but I don't think Deus Ex Revel was like really broke the mold, right? Uh, sure, you could kind of tell stories and you could kind of tackle problems in multiple ways, but I don't like. I think like if I'm remembering correctly, Deus Ex was a really very authored experience.
And then the one thing I'm also like a little bit like surprised about is like what's wrong with like having a different game that just tells a story, because you have games that just have you doing a puzzle where you have to like get all these blocks in a line. Like what's wrong with having that? It's like you're going to yell at them, but you're not going to yell at like people that do Tetris or something. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, let me go play obligatory
I feel
military
like
shooter 5.
He's probably not trying to draw a conclusion between a story-based game with player interaction and a game like Tetris, which has no story, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's trying to make that
Right.
comparison. He's probably trying to make a comparison between a game like Witcher or Deus Ex
See-
and a game like any of the Telltale games that have a defined story, and you have much more minimal impact on what the possibilities
See-
are.
So the thing is, I would almost say that Tetris is the perfect game, or the most perfect game we've created so far, in that Tetris has. I think I'm cribbing this from someone. Tetris is the minimal set of mechanics. If you add anything to Tetris, it's a worse game, and if you take anything away from Tetris, it just doesn't work. So it's basically the purest expression of game,
Yeah,
if
I
you
guess.
will.
Granted, did you like
Like,
Tetris 2?
Which I don't think I've ever played Tetris 2.
That was it was a
Is there a
3-line.
Tetris?
Yeah, there is.
Okay, 3 a line.
Yeah, where you have to get 3 in a row, like of the same color.
Oh no! See, it's
similar
not.
to
But
Dr.
that game is
Mario.
not as good as Tetris. Right, but that game, there's a reason why people are still playing Tetris, and no one gives a crap about Tetris 2 in 2015,
I like Tetris.
or Dr. Mario for that matter.
Yeah.
I know you liked it, but there aren't. I mean, again, I'm using the fallacy of like, what's more popular, Tetris 1 or Tetris 2?
Yeah, Tetris 1. All right.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Long story short, Warren Spector's wrong. Moving on. Final topic.
His
I don't know if
opinion
he's
is
wrong. He's just he's super opinionated, and his opinion comes off as annoying.
I mean, if he
Right.
wants to come, if Warren Spector wants to come on to the show and debate with us, that would be great. Hint.
See, I don't know.
Hint.
I would actually like to hear. I
Because
don't want
I
to
feel
debate
like
him. I want to hear. Yeah, I want to get clarification.
I have a feeling there could be more to this story than that was reported. But
I'm
right,
sure
and
there
like
is.
I don't want to say like the games that he mentioned as being high or whatever are actually really good games.
they are good. Yeah.
They're all like on that list of The Sims, Fallout, Dishonored, and Deus Ex. Like those were all like Game of the Year contenders, right? In their respective
Dishonored,
years,
I think
right?
Dishonored has a Game of the Year edition, so I guess that counts.
No, I mean no. Everyone has a Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could reasonably make the argument in the year that Dishonored came out that people could. It was on lists. What I'm saying?
Yes, it was on lists. Dishonored was
Yeah.
on lists.
Yeah.
By the way, fun little fact: Detroit, the new game from Quantic Dream, like this is the game that I emailed David Cage to be like, "Hey, I want to get an interview with you," and he goes, "I'm putting all my effort into this game." And it's like, poopy. And so
Yeah, I
that
don't
was
think-
one thing that me and Vernon Shaw from Hot Pepper Gaming check out that interview. We were talking about that for a little bit, but final topic will probably be a short one. Activision Blizzard or Blizzard Activision bought King, the people
Hell
that
yeah.
make Candy Crush, for how much was it?
Almost
5.9
$6
billion.
5.9 billion. So are we going to see Call of Duty Candy Warfare, or like, give me some games, the next Blizzard Activision game with the new with Candy Crush incorporated. Making you think
So here's
now.
what I'm thinking. I think this has everything to do with taxes and the fact that Candy Crush is a valuable IP. It's probably as valuable as Minecraft, right? Which went for $2 billion,
Something
roughly?
along those lines, yeah.
Yeah,
something like
multiple
that. Yeah.
billion. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they overpaid for Candy Crush. But then again, I think Candy Crush might bring in more money than Minecraft. Like, I think they bring in millions a day. Granted, that's not billions, but millions. And
Mhm.
I think there's also some kind of tax things you can, like, I think Candy Crush is all overseas. So if you spend all that money and then now you don't have to pay, I don't know. It's weird. Accounting. Look it up.
So you think there's some
I'll get
accounting
one.
shenanigans going on to offset their
Oh,
numbers?
100%. 100%.
Interesting. I don't think you've broadened your view enough here, Murph. Let me remind you.
Mhm.
Activision Blizzard has just announced that they're also segmenting off into a third section of their company that's divided entirely towards esports, right? Which makes sense with a lot of the Blizzard
Oh,
games
okay.
and probably some Activision games. So what if we get a competitive Candy Crush alternative game that's going to come out of this thing, right? That's going to be dedicated
Oh,
to
no.
esports.
My brain
It's all
hurts
about.
listening to
It's
that.
going to launch next Halloween, which is most appropriate with candy, right? That's what we're going to see.
Nope.
No,
Okay.
no.
I'm in.
Oh my
Let's start it.
gosh.
No. I'm forming a team. I'll be the coach. I need some young kids who have the reflexes and the sharp wits
Yeah,
to.
exactly. We're too old
to-
at the age of 27. Well, I'm at least 27.
Oh, I'm 33, dude.
I know.
I'm out of the game.
It's got
I
to be
can't do it
sugar
anymore.
induced, right? Obviously.
Obviously.
Right. Right.
So yeah, like something
yeah.
mix between like Chex Quest, but with
God.
More candy. Yeah, I know. Dated with that game.
Man.
Oh
Yeah. See how, okay. Esports, Candy Crush counting edition. Uh, so it's like you need a budget. Candy Crush.
I'll shoutcast it.
Oh God.
Oh, look at that 5-in-1 with the peppermints.
Welcome to our dark dystopian digital future.
Yeah, there you go.
I would love to title that
Editorial-
episode that, but that's just be way too long for me to promote on Twitter.
Yeah, it's there's going to be an arena. People will be crushed by giant pieces of candy. We're all hail our orc and candy overlords.
You make it sound like it's the
It will
beginning
give
to
new meaning
Yu-Gi-Oh!
to the
Or
word
like,
Sugar Bowl.
what's that? What'd you
I
say?
said it'll give new meaning to the competitive Sugar
Yes.
Bowl.
I'm really
Okay.
surprised that you know that, to be honest. So I'm going to I'm going to golf clap for you for actually knowing a bowl game in college football. So well played.
Sports teams.
Sports team.
Throw them balls.
Oh my gosh. What was it?
Grantland.
I was watching the basketball game. I think it was Jet was on. I'm just shouting what happens? Oh, basketball. I was telling him stuff in basketball, and the entire call is just silence. I'm sports ball. He goes, oh, okay. That's
Sports.
I feel like the only sport you guys might care about is if it actually becomes a sport is Rocket League.
No, probably.
I haven't played that game,
Demolition
so I can't really
exists.
speak to it too much. But I don't know. It
All
looks like Mario Kart but playing soccer. I don't know.
Do we forget anything else to talk about?
Man,
I think going out on Sugar Bowl is a good high note.
I think going out on Sugar Bowl is
Yep.
a good high note.
I
All
think
right,
so
cool.
too.
All right, thank you guys very much for watching, whether you're watching us on Twitch or watching us on YouTube or listening to us via podcast. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/thatnewshowshow. You can follow me on Twitter, @ChaseBunker. You can follow the show on Twitter, @that_game_show. Or on Twitter, I just reviewed Killer is Dead in 140 characters or less. You can follow Murph on Twitter, @DorkNightShow. We can listen to his podcast every Wednesday. Every Wednesday.
No, Monday. Monday.
All right.
We release Monday. Release on Mondays.
All right.
Close enough. And also, hey, check out our my YouTube channel with my friend Mike on the Mikesimum Tomato Network. Guess what? You know what? It's Sonic Timber
That's your
in November.
Sonic.
We're doing
number.
a full month of Sonic. Full month.
My
Gotta go
God.
fast.
Oh,
we're
one
gonna
thing
get in.
I forgot
I think-
to promote. One thing I forgot to promote before we sign off. Check out, of course, the 2 Kickstarters of Dragon's Lair the movie. It'd be kind of cool, so go ahead and fund that. Another one that Adam Sessler is getting behind, and it's a really cool idea. It is the Friday the 13th video game. It was going to be all straight multiplayer. So it's going to be one person to be Jason, and 7 people are going to be the counselors. But it's essentially a 1v7, but it's also a 1v1v1v1v1 because everybody has to survive. It's an incredible idea. I definitely recommend checking it out. There's about 20 days left behind it, so definitely jump on that as well. So, I mean, I thought, especially if Sessler backs a game, it's I trust you, Sessler. So, I think I got everything. Murph, did I forget anything?
I think we're good.
Clegg, did I forget anything?
You are good to go, bud.
All right, so for Daniel Clegg and Murph Murphy, I'm Chase Bunker. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye-bye.